All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning to you, and especially to you. I'm just trying to see why this thing's so soft. Okay, got it. All right, finally, we figured these things out bit by bit, right? Simphiwe is here. We are live. It is Friday morning, which is the best day of the week. Yes. I see lots of comments already pouring in about what's going to be happening. I mean, it's amazing to me what excites people these days, right? I mean, like, people want to, I don't know, trend on social media. They want to go to concerts of bands that no longer are together. It's so weird. It's just so weird. I mean, like when Lebang brought up the Backstreet Boys are coming to South Africa a while ago, I was like, so yeah. Who cares? It's like saying... That's like saying, well, the guy who ran for chairperson of the Northwest Province back in 1994, he's coming to South Africa.
No.
Yeah, it's a bit like that.
No,
you don't think so?
Their music, has memories. Some people had their first kiss to that song, their first breakup, their first makeup.
There's a psychological reason for this. The psychological reason is that people are deeply, deeply unhappy at the moment. You know what we used for light before we had candles? Electricity. Mm-hmm. So people are starting to feel there's no progress, right? And then a band that makes them feel like, oh, those were the good times.
Yes.
They come back and people are like, oh, it's so nice. What you're going to have in Pretoria tonight, because now that the Dome is a car showroom, Joburg gets no concerts. There's nowhere to do shows in Johannesburg. Because they're never going to do a big stadium show again here. First of all, the rand to the dollar's too piss poor. So no promoters in South Africa can afford to bring big bands here. So they're going to send them to Pretoria, to this arena, which I don't know how many people you can fit in there, but it's smaller than the Dome. Anyway, Pretoria tonight's going to look like this. It's going to be cougars everywhere. And then you're going to go to a couple of bars and restaurants and nightclubs or whatever in Pretoria. What you're going to see is like really drunk women in clothes where they're mutton dressed as lamb, like tight shit that they haven't worn since they were in their 30s, 20s. They're falling all over the bar. I don't care who you are, where you are from, what you did as long as you love me. Y'all have another drink.
No.
That kind of shit.
So
I'm telling you.
No, I feel like there's going to be people that are just going to reminisce of the good times in my time. Oh my God, I remember when this song came out.
Boy.
I was like 16. And then they're going to do that and they're going to like relive their best moments when they didn't have to pay bills. And that's what's going to happen.
When they didn't have to pay bills.
I mean, I'm sure they were teenagers when they were like still the in thing.
The point is that we in South Africa had to wait 27 years for the Backstreet Boys to come and visit South Africa.
Right? Like, I'm just like...
We had to wait until they were so has-been that they'd broken up, and so haven't some of them died? I mean...
I don't know who's who in the zoo there.
Like, we're not the right people to figure this out. Maybe someone in the comment section can help us, but I'm pretty sure one of them died. Okay.
If not, I think they're on the road too. But hey...
Zach Lesupi says, morning, GCS people. Good morning. What do you mean, SIM-card? I had my first wank to the chairperson of the Northwest back in the 90s. I love when people are paying attention. Oh, it makes me happy. All right. For a non-fan, you got those words down, Gareth. Closet Backstreet Boy. No. Everyone knew those words. Simphiwe knows those words. Well, she wasn't a big fan. You were like a baby at the time the Backstreet Boys were there.
I know of them, probably know one chorus there.
I think everyone knows these words. But everyone knows these words. If I start playing, what was their really big song? God, there were so many. Backstreet back. All right. No, there are lots. Trust me. She's looking at me like you think I'm mentally ill.
No, I'm like, I don't know them like that. Like, I don't know them like that. The only guy that I do know is Justin Timberlake. I think he was there once upon a time. But I know his music on his own more than anything.
Boss BGP says, my son is working with the Backstreet Boys this weekend. Ooh. Wow, that's pretty cool. What do they get to do? What is your son doing? Is he like a sound guy? Is he a roadie? Is he like carrying equipment? Does he set up the stage? Does he help them with their Zimmer frames? What's he doing? Tell us.
Yes.
Has he got their medication in little boxes with compartments that say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday?
But is he the security, the bouncer? Like
Maybe, huh? Producer Ryan says larger than life. Yes. Yes. And he also seems to think that you've got NSYNC rather than Backstreet Boys.
You see, can't tell the difference.
Well, yeah, it is difficult to tell the difference. I agree with you.
So.
AI is going to bring Michael Jackson, Elvis, and Marilyn Monroe to perform a Living Again tour in South Africa for Christmas 2024. Watch, it's going to happen. I'm telling you.
And you know what? People are going to pay like 50,000 Rand just for that. Like, no.
Yowza Events says Justin was in sync. Justin, yeah, so that's right. Let's move on swiftly. Correct. Funnily enough, I met NSYNC in New York when I was there for the first time back in 2001. 2000 actually. I met them at a radio station that I was visiting coincidentally at the same time they were there for an interview. So I met Justin Timberlake before he was Justin Timberlake.
You see?
Yeah.
That's a nice story.
Someone reminded me on Wednesday, that I'd met Joan Rivers, which I'd forgotten about too. You know, I wish I'd written, because this is the days before cell phone cameras. So you wouldn't just take a camera picture off your phone. You'd have to have a camera. And I never carried a camera around. So I've forgotten. I've forgotten about some of the people I met. This is one thing I got to say about like Instagram and social media and having camera phones and people being online the whole time. This is one thing that's quite cool about it, is that you do bank your memories.
Yes. But like, didn't you have, I know my sister used to do it back in the day. She had like autograph book and all the celebrities I
never got an autograph from anyone, ever.
I wonder where that book is. I actually must find it. I could make some money from it.
The only time I've ever asked for one was when I asked Zelda, Madiba's PA, to just get him to sign my dad's copy of Long Walk to Freedom because they had a birthday on the same day.
Oh, wow.
And I had to say no to Madiba's 80th or 85th, I can't remember which one, where everyone was, and Oprah and Bono and all of them were here at the Sandton Convention Center for his birthday. But it was also my dad's birthday. And, you know, what are you going to say no to your dad? So I had to choose my dad.
It is Madiba and Oprah Winfrey.
So I had to,
you could have gotten a car.
No, so I got the book signed, and that was his birthday present. I was like, try to do these. That's the only thing I've ever had signed. Ever. And I think that's a biggie.
Yeah,
that's a worthwhile. That counts for 100 autographs of every other famous person you could wish to know.
And I'd also be like, I missed out on this event so that you can have this. Please don't ever complain about gifts ever again.
Carol Jean says, and you met me, a strumpet from PE. Yes, I did meet you, you strumpet. That's great. Cunning Stunt says, producer Ryan, I think I saw you at Forno's in Dunkeld, but didn't want to fangirl in case it wasn't you. Well, I mean, it's interesting that even producer Ryan is getting recognized around town. Let me tell you something. When the producers on your show start getting recognized, shit's getting real. Huh?
Yeah, but also, can I just say, people, please do introduce yourselves. It's so interesting when people be like, hi, Simphiwe, I know you from the show. And you're like, hi, how are you? I don't know who you are. Just say your name, please. And then they're like, you're so cool. Da, 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 da.
I love this. I think someone's put down our number as like the Uber, as the Uber contact. Because Lloyd Velila says, good morning, lovely people. From Lloyd at the Cape Town International Airport. I'm waiting for a trip. Has Uber driver. I think he's the Uber driver, actually. I think that's the information I'm getting here. Wow. Timberlake was NSYNC. They were the least cringe of the boy bands? I don't know about that. I think Boyzone was the most cringe. That was Ronan Keating, and you see Simphiwe. This is not a discussion we can have with you. You don't know who these people are. In fact, to you, the idea of a boy band, maybe you'll think Harry Styles and what was his thing called? Yes, definitely. What was their outfit?
That's a good one.
You see, nobody knows. Nobody knows.
Yeah, but those guys, I'm thinking that. I'm thinking Boys to Men. I'm thinking.
So if I had to arrange them in cringe to least cringe, I would say the most cringy is probably Boyzone. Then I would say NSYNC, because they had that terrible song. It's gonna be my which everybody says in May, right? You know that one because of the memes.
Yes.
It's going to be May. That's ridiculous. So I'd say Boyzone, then NSYNC. This is in terms of most cringy to least, right? Then I'd say Westlife. Then I'd say the Backstreet Boys. Then I'd say Boys to Men. And I wouldn't even rank any of the others because those are the proper boy bands.
But I think Boys to Men are also coming to South Africa later on this year. So I think
Why don't here's what we need to do. Let's just open up a massive old age home and just buy musicians from it. It would be a better thing to buy than Tottenham Hotspurs, you know? Like we were going to sponsor that football team in Tourism South Africa or whatever. We should just buy all the shitty old washed up singers.
No,
in the
but
world.
like, okay, you see with Boys to Men.
Give them round the clock medical care because we've got nurses and we've got doctors, right? And we set up this place and then they just perform every other night and people can go and buy a ticket and they can stay over at this old age home because there'll be accommodation for non-old people and there'll all be ramps. There'll be no steps. It's going to be amazing.
I'm just saying, don't judge Boys to Men, okay? Because when I saw that they're coming to SA, I got excited. I was like, oh, this was before my time, but you had an impact on me. So let's go. Let's go.
Would you say, and I'm not asking you, Simphiwe, because I don't know that you would even know who these bands are, but would you say, like, who was the first boy band ever?
Oh, first boy band ever.
Might have been Chicago, actually. Everybody needs a little time away. I heard her say, because they're a rock band, but they also Peter Cetera, right? I am a man who will fight for your honor. I think that's a boy band.
Wasn't it the Beatles?
No, I don't think the Beatles. They're not a boy band. They were a pop band, but they weren't. Maybe they were. Maybe they were the first boy band. Good point. All right. Vyasan's boasting about who he's met here. He says, I had lunch with Morgan Freeman when I worked in Robben Island. I have a photo and his autograph. Nice. Justice says, Gareth, have you seen there's a TikToker who's advocating for wider plane aisles, arguing that the existing layout is discrimination against larger passengers? Well, okay, I'm not going to do what you think I'm going to do here and pile into fat people because I actually think there's a business opportunity here, like PhatAir. Don't laugh, simply. No, there's a business opportunity. Someone who's really smart.
Okay, let's bring it. It's Business Fridays.
Look,
let's go.
Okay, so a third of Americans are obese.
Yes.
Okay, we know that. About a quarter of South Africans are obese.
Mm-hmm.
If you had to open up an airline in America and a small local one here in South Africa, bigger planes, bigger plane aisles, bigger seats, everything, but only, I mean, a lot of thin people would buy tickets on there as well because they'd want the space.
Okay.
Costs a little bit more, so you obviously have to offset the number of passengers you can fit in against the fuel and everything else. I think PhatAir, but you can't call it that. It would put people off.
Well, you can spell it with the P. PHAT.
Boom. See? There's our marketing genius. She's on it. Jesus. If we just lined up all the terrible business ideas we've had on the Friday show alone.
Dude, we'd be millionaires. Billionaires.
I'm telling you, last week we were like adversity camps. You know, I mean, like, unbelievable. All right. Morning, guys. Happy Friday. Coming to you live on free MediClinic Wi-Fi. Oh, no, Janet. What are you doing in MediClinic? They charge enough. We may as well use their free stuff. Well, absolutely.
Don't expose.
Oh, someone says One Direction. That's Harry Styles.
Oh, yeah.
Bakabantu, the intern. Hi, Bakabantu.
Hey.
Why aren't you on the show again? You should come on the show. Cringe was crisscross. Crisscross will make you jump.
Oh, okay.
You know that.
Jump.
Yeah,
oh, yes.
see?
Okay.
Everybody knows one boy band. New Kids on the Block.
Oh, they were annoying. No.
Shocking.
Like, no. Mm-mm.
Who was Marky Mark's little big brother? Mark Wahlberg's Donnie Wahlberg. Oh, wow. What a loser that guy's become. Uncle Potsa says Westlife's also coming to South Africa. Yes, we've got that. The Jackson 5, technically, yeah, I would say. And the Jackson 5 predate. No, they don't predate the Beatles. Beatles are older than the Jackson 5. But still, boy band, right?
Mm-hmm.
In fact, brother boy band. Probably the only one where they were all brothers.
Mm-hmm.
There was Michael, and there was Jermaine, and there was Marlon, and there was, who's my children? What's my wife's name? Catherine? What are my children's name? Well, Joe, I think the oldest is probably what was the oldest one's name? I can't remember the name. Look, Google the Jackson 5 quickly. Let's see who they were.
Okay,
That
let's see.
father, that terrible, terrible father of the Jackson. He's still alive, isn't he?
I think so.
Jesus, that guy's like a cockroach. He will never die. Tell you what.
It's all that money.
It's why money made his children earn him. He's never done any work, that man. All right, so while we're looking up the Jackson 5, there are lots of interesting comments here. Bad Boys Blue, I don't remember them at all, Chase. I'm sorry. That's not something I remember at all. It's just like
I will say, this is interesting. I just put in Google the Jackson 5 band, and I'm just seeing white people. Why white people?
Well, I mean, they did. Michael did become white. Maybe the others have also started their transition. Michael's the first ever transracial person on planet Earth.
I blame him. I really do.
He started all this shit.
Because we have to talk about, like, when you talk about Michael Jackson, you're like, oh, when you were still black or when you went white. And it's like, oh, yeah that was that.
Right.
There's some people that only know the white dude.
Are boys to men, says Bakabantu. Good question. Are they still boys to men? Aren't they just men? No. They should be now. They should be old men. Young boys to old men. Except that sounds like a gross, thing on the internet with pedophiles. Jackson 5, Beatles, people all trying to name the first boy band. Very good. Carl says everyone's so worried about Putin coming here, but we're all okay with these boy bands. Frankly, Putin can come stay here in my house. Yeah, people don't mind a boy band. They're a lot less dangerous than a military dictator.
Yeah, and all they're gonna do is just sing for you in sync. Like one's gonna start the and then the other one, and then the dance.
Zach says the Beach Boys were the first boy band, but I think the Beach Boys are slightly after the Beatles, as I remember it. Maybe wrong. Not entirely sure. That could be them as well. First boy band was the Disciples. They sang Jesus' praises. The Manhattans. Now we're going back.
Okay. I know the Manhattans.
You do, right?
Yes, I do. Okay. Yes.
And the Foundations. That's even before the Manhattans. Baby, now that I found you, I can't let you go. This is like Motown. That's how old those guys are. Tell fat people to take a cruise ship. The end, says Propaganda. Yeah, but what if you're traveling inland? Huh? I don't know. These people don't like PhatAir. Marco thinks it's hilarious, but they don't agree with it being a brilliant business idea. Come on, you people. Get with it. Jermaine was always the greasy one. That's Viasen. Well, that was a Chris Rock thing, didn't he? He said, have you seen Jermaine Jackson? He's a greasy. Yeah. And he is. He's got that almost like that wavy hair, but he has brill creamed 70s style. It's unbelievable. All right, Hanson. Does anyone remember them? Oof, that's a lot of weird memories from the 90s. Hanson, Jesus. Okay, so now
that sounds like trauma.
Yeah, now we started a whole thing. This has become like a nostalgia half hour. So let's change tack quickly. Mac says, Gareth, have you messed with gallium in your lab as yet? I saw this video online last night. Yeah. So gallium is amazing. I must be honest with you, I haven't had a lot of time to just sit and mess around in the lab. So it's just sitting there at the moment. I do have to occasionally vent certain chemicals, open them up, let the gases out, stop them from exploding, check that they're not corroding, all that kind of shit. But gallium is amazing. So Simphiwe, imagine, you've seen mercury,
yes,
right? Mercury metal and thermometers and all the rest of it flows, but it's heavy. It's also very toxic. And mercury is already liquid at room temperature. So gallium is it's almost like aluminium.
Okay.
But it melts in your hand. So as soon as you put it in your hand, it starts to melt.
Sure.
Melts just above room temperature and kind of closer to body temperature. And gallium is very, very useful and very, very interesting, but it's also hugely dangerous. If you put it on a plane, I mean, if you try to take gallium on a plane, you'll be arrested, because when gallium meets aluminium, it starts to dissolve the aluminium. So it's like putting an acid on any other metal.
Sure.
It doesn't start bubbling and fizzing and releasing hydrogen, but what it does is it starts making an amalgam.
Okay.
So the gallium and the aluminium start to mix, and then it actually creates cracks and fissures, and it diseases the aluminium.
Sure.
And eventually, planes are mostly made of aluminium. So if you take gallium on board, very dangerous. Even if it's, even if it's well contained and you can't spill it, they won't let you on.
Yeah.
And if they find it, you're going straight to jail. So very interesting indeed. All right. And then parallel parking, bringing us back to reality by saying the G7 is the most infamous boy band. Well, the G7 met this last few days. So it was the leaders of the 7 biggest economies in the world, supposedly. And they sat and talked, and none of it is going to change anyone's life. Least of all mine, yours, or Simphiwe's. So there we go. I don't think that we need to look too much into that.
Well, talking about celebrities, Gareth.
You got something?
I do.
Let's go. All right.
So I think this is something you would like. So it was someone who tweeted this, like dogs that look like celebrities.
Oh wow. All right. All right. This is good.
So I've loaded up like a whole lot of pictures for you.
Okay, this is going to be the next couple of minutes is going to be hilarious if you're watching us live on YouTube. So try and do that. If you are not, too bad. I'm going to have to explain it to you, but we'll see. So these are dogs that look like celebrities.
Right. Yes. So I'll do a few. I don't know.
You can take control here.
Okay. I don't know the dog breeds, whatever.
Okay,
but
I'll try.
Yes,
I'm not sure.
but I will definitely say the celebrity, and you can say yes or nay.
Okay.
All right. So we'll start off with Julia Roberts.
Yeah, she looks like one of those. What is that thing called? It's one of those dogs with like the long flowy hair. And could be an Afghan hound.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We then have Lady Gaga in the mix.
Lady Gaga looks like a Chinese crested. That's what that dog is called because it keeps winning ugliest dog of the year.
Yo.
It's like bald from the neck down.
Wait, you just mentioned it keeps winning.
It keeps winning ugliest dog of the year every year. So if that's what Lady Gaga looks like, then bad news for her. All right. But it does kind of, especially when she's not trying to be pretty, which she does a lot of the time.
Then we have Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh, Samuel L. Jackson. Yeah, he looks like a grumpy ass boxer. Right. But that's the Samuel L. Jackson from Django Unchained. So he's particularly grumpy in that movie. Motherfucker. I can see that on his face, right? And then he's got the boxer dog.
Yeah.
But this is a very grumpy looking boxer. It's actually like side-eyeing
like
the camera.
Yeah. And then we have John Travolta.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. That dog looks just like him.
I know, right?
Oh, wow. What is that? That is a very strange looking dog, but it looks it's like John Travolta has morphed into an animal. Good Lord. Wow. Look at that. By the way, that's a long ago picture of John Travolta. He does not look like that anymore. He's had a lot of plastic surgery and he's not in, like the hairline is nowhere. That hairline's not near what he's got now. So, okay. John Travolta.
Yes. I hope this one's a good one. Robert Redford.
No, that's Harrison Ford.
Oh,
Harrison Ford and a Labrador, golden retriever. Yeah, you know what it is? It's the skew smile that dog has.
That also.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like lifting the one side of his mouth and not the other. You know, Harrison Ford does that. Look.
Yeah. So then we have like some animals. Wait, no. We have Donald Trump.
You better have Snoop Dogg in this. That's all I'm saying. It's like the obvious one to go for, right? I mean, everybody's always told him he looks like a dog.
Yeah, why is it not loaded? Yes, but Snoop Dogg is somebody. But we have Donald Trump, but with a couple of animals, right? So this is the dog.
That's just because the hair is blowing all over the place. Right.
And then
I know I look like a dog. He always says, by the way, Donald Trump's the guy always when he's criticizing someone who's trying to be mean, he goes, "She was stupid like a dog." He always uses like a dog. I kicked her to the curb like a dog.
And then we have him, Caterpillar, the hairstyle. They're like, look at the hair.
Oh my God. Okay, so this is a different animal, but
yes.
This looks like a bird. It doesn't look like is that a caterpillar or a bird? What a weird looking creature. It does look like Donald Trump left his hair on a leaf in the Amazon. Okay.
And then the last one that they've added here is, and I think they're just taking shots at Madonna.
Oh my God.
With the frog.
Sweet Jesus. There's a frog with its legs spread wide and and the legs are like very muscular.
Mm-hmm.
But that is, I mean, that's spot on. That frog, either Madonna copied the frog or the frog copied Madonna, because that's way too close. Way too close.
And yeah, those are some of the
Right.
lookalikes.
Very
I'm
nice.
getting Snoop Dogg's one.
You've got to have a Snoop Dogg. I'm sorry. I just will not countenance anybody leaving him out of this.
And it was quite interesting when I saw it. I was like, I didn't know that animals could look like celebrities.
Yeah, I mean, people are saying also Boris Johnson looks like a dog, a very untidy dog. Absolutely. Snoop would be a Chihuahua. I don't know if it's Chihuahua, Elon Chief Twat. I think it's more like a Doberman. That's what they say he looks like. Anyway, I like those, Simphiwe. Thank you for making our morning. There we go.
You see?
I like it very much. I mean, it's so weird. Like some people, they always say people look like their dogs. That doesn't count for me. I mean, my dog is beautiful and cute and all those things. I'm none of those things. And she's got like long hair, and I don't have any of that. You know?
So here's Snoop Dogg. Found him.
All right, let's go. Oh yeah. Okay, and underneath is what Ice
Cube.
Ice
I think.
Cube. Yeah.
Yes.
So Snoop Dogg looks like a dachshund. Well, maybe.
It's the eyes. It's
Maybe.
that squinting eye vibe.
Listen, it's also like dogs also have facial expressions. So if the dog's pulling a certain face, then it looks more like these people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, very nice. Very nice. There we go. There's some Friday fun for you to cheer you up if you're having a slow start to your day. And it is the weekend, and tell us what you're up to in the comments. We want to hear from you. See what's going on. By the way, I've got to play something for you just when Ben comes in, because I think it'll make you laugh. Every day when we have guests on the show, then Ryan sends them a WhatsApp or whatever and says, is there anything you want to talk about in particular, you know? And then we usually have a couple of things because, I mean, otherwise we'll just talk, which is fine. But if there's some things that they want to cover, and you forget stuff when you're on the show sometimes, so it is useful to have notes. And I sometimes make notes. Like yesterday, I started like ranting and raving about like these old men in the gym, right? Who let their balls hang out. It's revolting, Simphiwe. You have no idea how revolting it is. And if I hadn't made a note about that, I definitely would have forgotten, because it first of all traumatized me. So I didn't want to remember it. But it is a disgusting thing. So listen to this quickly. This is Ben yesterday talking to Ryan. I hope you can hear this. Just tell me, Ryan, just check that this is actually coming through. Yeah, I just want to play this quickly. Let's all right, hang on. All right, so there's Ben saying he's actually a boring cunt. He has nothing to talk about. Is that true, Ben?
Jeez, I was in confidence with just me and a big Ryan over here. Not so much.
You know, nothing is left out for the show. That's how it works.
Well, you guys ask me for talking points every week, and I have no idea what. All I want to talk about is UFC and getting jacked.
Okay,
I mean,
but
I can't say that, right?
You say that. I knew the day would come where eventually you'd run out of stuff to talk about.
That was 3
but I didn't
years
know,
ago.
I didn't. That's why you left the show in the first place.
Yes, I had nothing to say.
You ran out of material.
I was sitting here, nothing.
I don't think it came through on the
Please fix that blind behind him. It looks like crinkled old panties on an old lady.
Blind's the least of your issues. This dodgy door.
Wait, people are saying they can't hear Ben, I think.
What?
I can hear me.
I'll play it to the mic.
Oh,
the clip. Yeah, play it. Okay.
Yeah.
Go on.
Sorry, Ryan. Should have a day. Gotta be honest with you, I've got fuck all to talk about. I'll try and give it some thought, but right now, absolutely nothing off the top of my head. I'm actually quite a boring cunt, but I will diligently look through some websites when I get home in a bit.
Yeah, I've never not had anything to talk about.
That's because you're Gareth Cliff. I'm not you.
But still, and you hate the door, huh?
No, I don't hate it. It's just that when I come in
clankiest. Yeah, listen.
It sounds like Andre the Giant. I come in here with such gusto. So
Let's not go back to that.
I've got to push the thing.
No, but you know what it is? So when we built the studio, it was a bit of a rush because we had to be in here by in fact, we had a show on the last day of January.
Yes.
We were meant to only move halfway through Feb. So we kind of rushed some of the stuff. And what we'll do is slowly go back and fix things like the door, because it's not a difficult thing to do.
Well, I don't think so. I mean,
no, we've just got to sort that out. So, okay.
Every room has a door.
Have you ever seen anyone because this makes me think. Ever seen anybody in a business meeting, for example, and thought, "Oh God, I have nothing to say to this person"? This happens to me often.
Oddly enough,
It happens so often.
Yeah. I mean, look, I've been able to give myself enough credit. I don't have anything to say, but I find a way. Because I've used words out of this mouth of mine for so many years.
It just goes autopilot.
Just go for it. Like, I'm often in meetings that our business partner's like, you must chat to this guy, and there's fuck all context. And then I basically then forget to find the context.
Oh.
So you're good with
maybe
small
I
talk.
shouldn't be admitting this on a public forum. Yeah, I guess it's just one of those things. I just have the ability to talk, but like, you always have something to talk about because you're endlessly curious. Like, I don't care about a lot of things. Like, genuinely, I really don't. And I feel that like it's almost isolating me further from society because people have this vested interest in certain things like bullshit TV shows or whatever fucking Cyril's messing up this week. Like, I just I can't.
No, but the trick, let me tell you, here's my trick, right?
Can you move that thing down? Because there's like this bar.
Why is that microphone hanging in the middle of the air?
Why is that microphone look so heavily aroused?
Yeah.
You just bring it down a bit, then I can see your face.
There we go.
There we go.
There.
So here's my trick that if I kind of know what you're into, I always have one line to ask. So if you like, I know you're into sports or golf, I'll be like, hey, so what's your handicap? I know nothing about golf. I honestly
It's a
don't.
good question though for a
so
person who doesn't
when
know.
ask that, they don't know what they're talking about.
No, because you know what happens is that they give you all the tips. They're like, oh, this is my handicap. I just started. People will talk for 15 minutes straight about
You're
something.
So right. People give you all the answers.
Oh my
all
God.
of it. And all I did was ask one question about
guys,
something they're passionate about.
Okay, but it's not even that. You just ask them about them. People will talk endlessly about themselves. They love talking about themselves.
Of course.
So if you say to someone, if you're really with the most boring person in the whole world, whether it's a date or it's a meeting or it's at some bullshit event where you have to make small talk, just say to them, tell me your story, and just go on to like white noise auto mode. You don't even have to listen to anything. They will think you're wonderful just because you opened up some question about their boring life. And they will tell you, oh, when I was 3, my mum left me out in the cold for a week and I lost a limb. And you'll be like, oh, that's terrible. You just have to listen enough.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to pay just enough attention to kind of stick to the
And then the
conversation.
science
They
is
think
you
they
keep
think you're like
quiet.
wrapped.
I mean, just think about like rolling a ball. You just find a way to roll the thing. And no obstructions.
Yeah.
Down like a wooden passage and just roll. It'll go.
Yeah.
And that's what conversation really is. But I find it so exhausting after a long week. It's like I have nothing to say. Like, fuck, I'll be on the show tomorrow. What am I going to do?
Well, I'm sorry it's such a burden for you, Ben.
It's not
Like
a
you have to
burden.
really think about it.
It's just that obviously when someone from here asks me a question, I have a lot of respect for them. So I want to give them a good answer. And I just have nothing on most weeks. But then I get here and it kind of works, right? I mean, you still invite me. Here I am. We've already covered 10 minutes of air. This is good.
Yeah.
So to talk about nothing.
The bandit queen says, I work in retail. It happens so often that people don't want to buy and they just come to chat. I'm quite antisocial, so it's a tough one. Yeah.
Those
you see,
fucking people.
Again, people are so desperately in need. Did you see, and I hate to bring this up again because people are going to bitch and moan in the comments. They're going to be like, you're giving these people attention. You shouldn't. Did you see this Harry and Meghan story from this week? It's like their Jussie Smollett story. They've made up that they were, chased down through the streets of New York. They very nearly died. They were almost collisions. I mean, an almost collision means you didn't have a collision, right? I probably had an almost collision on the way into work this morning.
Yeah, we've all almost died at some point.
Right. And even on a day where you don't like, oh, okay, better put on brakes a little faster now. That's an almost collision.
Mm-hmm.
So what Harry and Meghan had happened to them is nothing. They had nothing happen, and now it's in the news. And I know people are irritated that I even bring them up, but just imagine,
I'm furious.
Imagine the level of desperation that these two must be feeling. They must have been sitting there.
Well, Gareth, we don't have to imagine it because we know it.
Oh my God. Going, we've got to be in the news. Let us fake that we were chased. First of all, if you've ever been to New York, there's no high-speed car chases in New York. Traffic is gridlocked 24/7, 365, and every hour of the day. There's no way you can go into the Upper East Side of New York and be gridlocked. I mean, and be chased. There's no way. You could be chased on foot. I've seen people like grab someone's stuff, mug them, and start running down the street. But you will not get fast and far on a car in New York. You just won't. It's not going to happen.
They do suffer from like everything has to be about them.
Oh my God.
You know, like, and there's people like that in the world as well. Like the friend who always make everything about them, and when they walk into the room, they're like, "Oh my gosh, Ben looked at me. He's definitely like eyeing me," you know. And then it's like, no, he was just looking at
goes back to
I was just looking for where the food or the coffee was, and you were in the way.
It just goes back to exactly what we were talking about a second ago, which is that if you talk to people about themselves, if they can just talk to someone, they'll feel better about themselves. They think you're amazing because you asked them some stupid question about their hobbies.
Yeah.
It's just wild how desperate so many people are. It's not just Harry and Meghan. Desperate people who are hoping someone somewhere is going to just talk to them. I mean, what a thing to happen to people, that this is where we're at.
So in better news from New York yesterday, my business partner was there for an awards thing, and we won Sports Technology Awards Startup of the Year.
Very nice, Ben.
Look at that.
And it was in New York.
Obviously, time
you
zone's
guys
different.
are international.
That's
Take that, Harry and Meghan.
Yeah,
Actually
that's
doing
really,
something in
that's
New York.
way better.
Yeah, so international people think we're cool. Yay.
That's well,
exciting.
Ricky does feel that you're quite entertaining, Ben. Your sports segments used to be the best sports segments of segments.
Yeah,
Wow,
well,
quite something.
should we do those again? I mean, there's so much to talk about. PGA Championships this weekend. It's a major.
Who's that?
What's that? Is PJ Championships that woman who sang "All the People Sing and Dance"? Jabulani. Is that PJ Championships? Is that her?
That's actually a fantastic spoof name for a really large singer.
Yes. PJ Championships. I like that.
Championships.
That's very good.
It's the first golf major of the year.
You're going to love this before you get into PJ Championships.
No, I moved on.
Okay, good. Thank God, because I was about to zone out.
The two of you looked like I just opened my lunchbox.
Yeah, my eyes glazed over. I was like, golf.
See, nothing to say.
No, dude. No, I was just. You've taken me completely out. I was. Oh, for God's sake! How could I forget where I was? PJ Championships.
Tell me your story, Gareth.
No, Jesus, hang on, man. I was
Give
going
him
to
a
say
second.
I was going to say something quite important. Ah, you useless
You
bastards.
took my golf
No,
courses.
oh, you'd love this.
Yes.
So on Monday we were meant to have Gord on.
Ah,
Guess what? 3 a.m. he cancels.
bit of a running tummy.
Well, who knows? Maybe just tired, lazy,
It's the marijuana.
whatever.
Yeah.
You think it's the marijuana?
Always marijuana.
Hey, speaking of the marijuana, we're going to have
Was that the end of the story?
Yeah, I just wanted to, because I know how it irritates you when people are unreliable. And so, and Ben always used to like goad Gord. He would like be, so you couldn't wake up this morning, you useless fucking undisciplined fatty.
I did not say any of those things.
You did. And that's why I brought it up this morning, because I wanted to see your reaction, and it's exactly what I thought it would be. Anyway, speaking of people with marijuana, Hi Rob is going to be joining us this morning. Total change in Hi Robness.
Well, yeah, I mean, Hi Rob hasn't been on the show for
Ages.
so long. He listens diligently still.
Because you and Gord and Rob used to be on a group together.
Yeah, and then you guys ghosted him.
spectacularly. No, Ben just spectacularly left the group and ignored them.
I felt the group had run its course. I mean, that's
Oh, that's funny. It's so great that Ben just decides, all right, I'm done with that. That's finished.
That's a smart thing to do, and we've all flourished since then. So hey,
That's true.
Who's the
That's
dickhead
absolutely
now?
true.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So a couple of people here in the comments want to talk about PJ Powers. Oh, that's of course I know
PGA Power.
Powers. Not PJ Championships. Oh man. Ben, when are you bringing some explosive volleyball to the show?
Never.
Volleyball.
What the fuck?
What is explosive
volleyball? Is explosive?
What is that? I don't know what that is. They see. Some people have been paying attention, Ben.
Yeah.
Tracy Bard says, your group that you and Gord and Hi Rob used to be on called the High Counsel.
It was.
Do you ever get someone saying, now, all I'm going to have now is PJ Powers in my head the whole day? And that's so funny because you sometimes get a song in your head and you cannot get it out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
and
I
that
know.
happens to me. So I mean,
I've had one song for
called an
this
earworm.
entire week. It's
What is
like
it?
a new song that just dropped. It's called Area Codes by
I got
Cardi.
hoes
No,
in different area codes.
No,
no?
That's fine to have stuck in your head.
No,
Some songs are fine.
No. It's, literally, the song starts off by saying, "Got a white boy on my roster. He feeding me pasta and lobster." And then that's the beat.
Whites, big feeders.
Oh, those whites.
Those whites, notorious.
Watch out for those
notorious for their
whites.
feeding aspects.
Mm.
I know, like when we do the sort of cold plunge in the morning, Daniela has this one song that she plays all the time,
And she gets in there as well now. You've basically strong-armed the poor woman into having to join you in your torture.
No, she makes good life choices, but
You mean she had no option?
she goes after me. I mean, it's not like I'm holding her in there. So she goes after me, and then she puts like a lot more ice in, and then she plays this one song, which is literally like I've got a lot of sound sensitivity. It's a very weird thing.
So you don't listen to music when you're in there, or do you?
I do. I listen to old classics.
Okay, like what was your song this morning?
Well, I cleaned the tub last night, and then I was running late, so I didn't actually plunge this morning because the show means the most to me.
Thank you, Ben. Thanks for your dedication and loyalty, which God could learn something from.
Here we are.
Yeah.
But I always play the classics because they're 3 to 4 minutes long, and if I get 3 songs in a
okay, so give me an example.
Well, I mean,
just one of the songs this
week. Do you
week.
have like a whole playlist for the week?
Because if you put me through the torture of being in freezing water in winter, first thing in the morning, I would remember that song. It would be like
you're approaching it like a pussy, though.
I mean, you're not going to convince me like you convinced Daniela.
Daryl Hall and John Notes, you make my dreams come true.
You make my dreams come true. Can you imagine doing that while you're freezing your tits off and your balls are climbing up your throat?
But I'm past that stage now. It's just something I do.
All right.
But she has this one song which is very powerful and emotive, obviously because it makes her focus and channel.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just weird. Like I have maybe from my DJing days, there's certain sensitivities I have towards sound, and it literally grates my head and breaks down my soul.
What is the song that she plays that drives you so crazy?
I don't know. I've never Googled it.
It's like a 90s.
Shazammed it. No, it's like it's not a terrible song structurally, and it's got merits, I'm sure.
We got to know what this is.
What's the name of the song?
Message her now and
for
find
some
out.
reason the song, but like the other day I was playing golf and I was having a shit day, and the song was in my head. I felt like I was going insane. I actually felt like I was about to murder something, break something. And sometimes it just literally sticks in you like oil on a penguin. You know when those oil sticks, you look at those penguins and they look so feeble, and you think that guy's having a tough day.
Shame. Is that why you sent that voice note to Ryan that you were having such a shit day yesterday?
No, yesterday I had a long day. I'm trying to create a story with this guy. Okay, so this is the whole thing about editing as well. Is that you keep going over and over stuff. Okay, because you're trying to work it down. I sat down with this dude. He told me a story. It was 38 minutes, and it was a good 38 minutes.
Okay.
But no one watches a 38-minute video, so you've got to obviously cut it down and be very impactful and cut all these kind of things. But then you need to find like stuff for the overlays, and you can't shoot a childhood memory, so you got to hope that he's got pictures or something, right?
Right.
And I go through this, and like some days I just have days, and that's what it is. And I got this section down to like 11 minutes, and it felt pretty good, but it took pretty much the whole day. And this guy's story, like a song, is ingrained in my head now. Like I know more about this guy than he probably cares that anyone should ever know about him, because I've analyzed these words. I've structured these sentences.
Yeah, you've decided to end the sentence where he didn't and that kind of thing. So you actually know his mind better than him on this story.
I've got to cut these things because I need to tell his story better than he's told us. I don't mean that in an arrogant sense. It's just that's how editing works. So I go through that, and I love telling stories, other people's stories, because I think it's a powerful thing that no one really puts a lot of time into because we live in TikTok crackland.
Yeah.
And then I get Ryan messaging me saying, "What do you want to talk about?"
And you would
you're like, don't want to talk about the story.
There was no anger or angst. It was just all I had.
Well, I think editing stuff is actually, for me, that's a prison sentence. I'm wholly incapable of going over old material. It kills me to listen to stuff more than once or watch it more than once. Kills me. I find like my whole body and brain shuts down when I've heard something before. Obvious exceptions being songs.
Songs obviously.
And by the way, people still want to know. Please message
Symbol of
Daniela right now to find out what that song is. People want to know.
No, because
people have got to know.
No, I'm sorry. Just bear with me with my story.
Jesus, there's a lot of demands being made on us here in the comment section this morning.
It's a very demanding comment section, and here we are.
Can I just, Mapelo, I just need to correct you on something here quickly. You used the word loose instead of lose.
Oh.
This is very, very. I know it's
As
Friday.
As Gord would say, that's very embarrassing.
I know, like Grammar Nazi. Can people on Instagram and TikTok and Snapchat and all the other apps that I don't use, can they all stop misspelling two and lose and loose? It's very, very important. Your number of O's in those words are hugely important. Use the right O's. Okay, please.
Also, with it, what it like in terms of no, it is. Wait, yeah.
No, you're thinking about the apostrophe.
Yes, but people don't
mind that.
I do.
Because people all get that wrong at some point. Like Mother's Day was last Sunday, and people were putting the apostrophe in the wrong place. Stop it,
guys.
Stop it.
I'm just going to go on a limb here and say all of those people you're referring to have much bigger problems than what they type with their fingers.
You're probably right. We can deal with those problems this morning, but it is Friday, so we're probably not going to. Simphiwe was just comparing celebrities to animals, and she put up a whole bunch of pictures.
Oh, it's a risky topic.
Yeah. You could get into some serious trouble on this front. But I do want to quickly go to a couple of other things because there are some news stories, and if we don't pay any attention to them at all.
And I gave you all these talking points as well.
Oh, please. You didn't give us a damn thing.
I gave you 3.
Like,
Nonsense.
Sure.
Nonsense.
See, and then I put the hard work in and unappreciated.
We're going to get to your stuff in a second. I just want to quickly throw in some news here. Do you care about this girl who went missing in 2017? I mean, that's not even that long ago. I don't think it's much of a story.
Wait, did they find her?
She was reunited with her family after a store owner recognized her from the Netflix series. And it's not Madeleine McCann because she's much, much older than that now.
Yeah.
Have they found her yet?
Not yet.
Still not.
Wait, what?
So, okay, let me give you the detail on this one without getting too much into it. I think 2017, not long enough for us to care, but okay. Her name is Kayla Unbehauen. Okay, she's from South Elgin in Illinois. She went missing in 2017 and has been reunited with her family after a North Carolina store owner who watched way too much TV recognized her from the TV series Unsolved Mysteries.
Okay.
Yes. She was abducted by her mother from South Elgin. She reportedly took her camping and failed to bring her back home. She did not have custody rights over the daughter.
Okay, because if your mother takes you away, are you technically missing or are you just loved?
Well, this mother must have not had any rights to her. She must have been like a drug addict or something because they hardly ever give custody to the father.
So when she said camping, it was more of like a meth trip.
Probably.
Those aren't fun.
She's now 15.
Okay.
Okay, when she went missing, obviously.
She was about 10.
Yeah.
Because it was about 5 years ago.
And apparently people there only recognized it because the TV series. Isn't that good? At least these stupid TV shows do some good things.
Of course they do.
Yeah. So anyway, they recognized her, which is excellent, and they found her. But I don't really think, Madeleine McCann, that would be a story. Right, Ben?
Yeah, she's somewhere. No, she's not. She's dead, unfortunately.
She's unfortunate.
Yeah, she's dead. I actually watched the TV show for the first time in a while.
What?
The White Lotus.
Oh,
it's good, huh?
It's good.
You watched the first series?
First series, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't watched the second one. I kind of fell off the wagon, but
well, apparently it's better. Daniela finished the second season yesterday, and she said it's better.
I love that. What's that Jennifer woman? Coolidge. Jennifer Coolidge, who plays
mom.
She's so good in that show. But I think she's like that in real life.
Has she had a stroke?
Yeah, there's something going on there. She's not all there.
I know that sounds hugely sensitive, but there's just
I think she has.
There's so much going on in her face that I never know what's going on, so I can't actually.
That whole thing in the if you've never watched The White Lotus, you have to watch it because it really was probably one of the best shows of last year. And everybody who saw it won awards. Not that that's ever an indication, because usually they give awards to terrible shows. But this really is good. And even if you only watch Jennifer Coolidge's parts in it, you get pulled in. It's properly a good show. It really is. It's very entertaining.
Yeah, but Congo Chris, would you give her a stroke though? Where are you where she is stroke?
But it's the confidence for me. It's definitely the confidence.
What, her?
No, Congo Chris.
Congo Chris. I was going to say,
I don't know if that's so much confidence. It's that desperation.
Jennifer Coolidge is waiting to get hear from Congo Chris. I reckon Jennifer Coolidge, she set the standard for cougar back in the day as Stifler's mom.
90s.
And we opened the show this morning to a lot of comments from people about the Backstreet Boys are going to be in Pretoria this weekend with a cougar show of their own. So they're going to be cougars aplenty. who are all modeling themselves on Stifler's mom this weekend, guaranteed.
I'm just amazed there's that many whites left in this country to justify a Backstreet Boys tour. Genuinely.
You're blown away, huh?
Absolutely.
That many whites. Well, one of the other things that's on TV and that is about whites is the Real Housewives of the Wynlander.
Which we said from the start was bad as a bad idea.
No.
Bad idea. Well, it turns out it is a bad idea, and this is making national news at the moment, and it's worthy of discussion. Even my mother is she's watching this
deep.
show.
It's deep now. No.
So she said to me, "I'm sorry, I am watching that show," because I said, "Oh, what a lot of shit this is." She's like, "I'm watching it."
Of course.
So a lot of people are watching it now. There's this one woman on the show whose husband is the CEO of KWV, a brandy company.
Fine establishment.
Right.
Been around forever.
Okay, so he's the CEO of that. Supposedly quite a smart businessman, astute. I mean, not that you really have to be that smart to sell something that Dutchmen are drinking all the time.
A bit more to the company than that, but yeah.
Okay, but anyway, you say so. It's yet to be seen.
Have you been to KWV?
No. Anyway, so let's move on. Because I know you used to sell brandy, Ben. Tell me all about
that was my world.
That was your wereld.
Yeah.
All right, so
Damn right.
the KWV CEO has had to resign because his wife is so obnoxious on the TV show, as I understand it. Correct me where I'm wrong here. But apparently, and this is according to like business news now, they're starting to talk about this guy. First, let me put a picture of him and her on.
That's how you know the reality show is good. It's so good. It affects your real life.
But we called it. These women were going to embarrass men.
But it's been
Hardworking men out there creating.
Yeah. And then their wives go on TV and talk about crass things like money and sex.
Exactly. That know their limits.
Crass. These are dirty women. So here they are. There's the wife, the housewife. There's her husband. A shame. You could see he's taking strain already.
Yeah, she's hammered.
And this is before the show. She's hammered. She's a big drinker. She's got a foul.
All of them are.
Foul potty mouth.
She looks
You've
like
watched the show,
No,
right?
I just you know me in reality shows, right? This is the formula, guys. This is the standard procedure. I'm not shook. I'm not surprised. This is how it goes, and this is what makes a good reality show because there's drama that happens. She's drunk. Well, all the ladies are always drunk half the time. They start saying things they're not supposed to say on camera, and now it's affecting their real lives. It's like, yes, honey.
Okay, like,
fumble that bag. I'm here for it.
I haven't watched this show, nor will I. But judging by the comments, everyone loves Anita. And I can tell you who Anita was. In college, university, she was that chick that she could hold her booze well enough to obviously pass the jokes and laugh at the right rugby jokes.
Yeah.
And she eventually found the rich joke on the back of that.
Right.
I mean, she threw it around a bit with like the more athletic, good-looking ones, but then she found the CEO of her dreams.
Yes.
So she's actually a South African success story.
She is.
In that world.
She is the only real housewife then. The rest are all pretenders. Let's give credit where it's due. But we got to talk a little bit more about this and some other shit because we got Hi Rob joining us about half past
so many
7.
talking points.
Lots to talk about this morning. Borge will also be joining us a bit later on. That's George Mienie from Auto Trader and lots of other good stuff. But our condolences then obviously to the guy who is leaving KWV because their loss is Real Housewives' gain.
Well, he was meant to retire next year, so I mean,
so that's not so bad.
You're on the precipice, really.
Okay, not so bad. Plus, I mean, how can there still be white CEOs?
Yeah.
How dare there be more?
How dare they? I mean, have they not read the BE legislation, the Equal Opportunities Act, or whatever it's called?
That show
have they not read it?
That show is going to get binged like a KFC bucket on the month end.
Oh wow!
By end of this,
please don't talk about KFC.
Why?
Like, no, it's because I'm having a bit of FOMO. They're doing like these pop-up
hold
spots.
that thought because it's just it's after 7. We'll come back with Simphiwe's deconstruction of the KFC problem, and we've got to still talk about Anita.
Wow, I had no idea. I just hit us off.
Jesus, and how?
Look at me, I'm just
Up next in the Auto Trader podcast, we've always said that the one thing the internet brings is transparency of car buying and selling. The more transparent the car seller is, the better chance they have to actually move that piece of metal.
Catch us every Monday at 9 a.m. on YouTube and on autotrader.co.za.
Hi, I'm Barrett Edelstein. Join me for my podcast, Celeb Savant, Today I'm with Sophie Ellis-Bextor.
So right at the moment, I'm at home in London, but after I speak to you, I'm going to pack my bags.
3 of the members of UB40, Earl, Matt, and Jimmy.
Well, we're in the middle of a tour at the moment.
A career retrospective with actors, singers, and entertainment industry experts every Friday morning at 9 o'clock on cliffcentral.com or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
That girl is a shooting star. You're wishing on, you're wishing. That girl is a neon heart. You're switching on, you're switching in your mind.
Every time you listen to that 80s show, Tom Cruise lives another 10 years. Every Friday on cliffcentral.com, Paolo and Dory review movies, reminisce about old songs, remember childhood places that are now car parks, and say some outrageously rude things about Patrick Swayze's brother. That 80s show, new episode every Friday, live or as a podcast on cliffcentral.com.
All right. It is Friday morning, cliffcentral.com. Lots of things going on. It's just after 7. And we were talking a minute ago about this Anita from Real Housewives of the Wynlande. It's amazing how this show and the Pretoria one before it, which you tipped me off about, Simphiwe, I wouldn't have known about any of these, have grabbed people's attention way more than the ones. Like, I haven't heard anything about the women in Gqeberha.
No, because that one is just ratchet. It's just ghetto. We don't talk about that one. But the one that's
embarrassing.
Yeah. But the one
these are not. And Anita is not
just ratchet.
No, there are levels. Like the entire franchise is just like ratchet, but there's levels to it. And so the one in Gqeberha where she's like, Futsek, we're like, no, girl, you just did too much. You just, you know.
So these women, apparently, the one woman who's on the Wynlande one, and only one I know is Anita, but then someone told me Amy Kleinans is on there. Amy Kleinans, of course, married after she became Miss South Africa. What the standard path for women in South Africa pre-apartheid, and even up to about the year 1999, I'd say.
Yeah, sure.
If you were a good-looking woman in South Africa, your career path was as follows: win minor beauty pageants in Klerksdorp and Bethel and De Aar, and then go on. And by the way, this doesn't just count for white women. It was a colored woman and a black woman thing as well. You win the local beauty pageant, then you eventually get into the Miss South Africa one.
Yeah.
Which was a big thing. I know now we wouldn't even like get out of the way for Miss South Africa if she was trying to shop.
Well, it was a wife parade, basically.
This is it.
Yeah.
But don't short circuit me here, Ben, because they had to learn certain skills along the way. So what happened was that Miss South Africa was, and it was also because TV was so poor in those days. There were no beautiful women except in soap operas, and even those, you had to watch them really get old.
Yeah, those chicks in Ngoli were like 6 out of 10 tops.
Correct. I mean, all of them really past it now. Anyway, fact is, Miss South Africa was this parade. They literally would parade in swimwear all the best-looking girls who wanted to be Miss South Africa. I put that caveat.
To be married.
Yeah, who wanted to be married, right? Because there were a lot of beautiful girls who were probably prettier than the girls in Miss South Africa, but it was a beauty parade where you could then, if you were a rich South African man, you would pick a wife. That was what it was. Happened to so many women there. And it worked for the men, for the women. Everybody was happy. It was like a supply and demand system. Good economics.
And the other side of the coin, literally, guys would put themselves through terrible finance jobs and work shit hours
to win a Miss South Africa.
So they can get to the point where the guys who are really good looking, charismatic, have already been through these women and sort of almost like broken them into the next stage of life. I mean, this is what you call culture.
You had to break them in like a horse.
Exactly. And they go through that proving ground because at that stage, these women know like, shit, I got like 4 or 5 more years of what I'm trying to do here. I must now find the CEO. Thanks, Ryan.
Ryan, that's not the chicory cup of brown that Ben hates. Try it, Ben. Let's just try it. Become very fussy in his old age. Oh. Is it good?
So back to these women. But it was
Ryan in the background just waiting for approval. Just go. It's not going to happen.
It was kind of like sports stars back in the 90s, right? They would go and play the sport so they could eventually sell photocopiers in a cushy job. That was like the proving ground for the thing. Yeah. We all have our paths, okay? And it's such a shame. You got to think these beauty pageants now.
Or a commentator on Supersport.
Same thing.
Yeah. Nashua, who would always hire tired old sports people because then the oaks in the office would have someone to talk to about sport. And it would be a real sports oak.
Absolutely. But that's how it worked. We can't knock how things work. People are so with, this whole must fall thing that just encroached on our lives.
Yes.
There were systems in place before. Not all bad.
And some of them worked for both parties, the man and the woman in these situations. So, okay. Miss South Africa. So Amy Kleinans was a product of that machine, that sausage machine that put out these wives. And she married some rich dude. I think she's divorced now. I don't know. I really don't know. And I would not spend a single solitary Google second trying to find out. She still looks quite good, Amy. She's a very pretty woman. She always was. But now she's on this show with all these crude, quite coarse, quite rough,
coarse, rich,
heavy drinking. Yeah. But Ben pointed out something about these shows that I think makes a lot of sense. The reason people watch them. See, I've never understood this because I'm stupid about this stuff. I'm clever about some things, but I'm stupid about this. I never understand people's motivation for things that I don't like or I don't understand. And it's not about me. These people who watch this show, they are looking for role models to do and be the things they wish they were.
Yes.
Drinking.
Yeah.
Swearing. Rich. And always on holiday.
Yes.
That's what most people want. They want to be doing that all the time. They don't really care about they're these people who social workers who are going out into really tough parts of South Africa and helping children through trauma and hard work shit. No one wants that except those people.
So
most people want to be the housewives.
But it kind of brings you to where all these companies are going, trying to be activists nowadays.
Yes.
Like the whole Bud Light debacle, right?
Oh my God.
What they were trying to do is they were trying to be topical, but they forgot they're actually a beer brand to mostly bigoted men in middle America.
Right.
Which is all cool and well, but they've just lost 23% of bottom line in the last quarter.
I hope everybody else has been, I know you're in the marketing business, so you've been paying attention to this, but I hope all these other companies are watching what happened with Bud Light. And just remember, Muzi Kuzwayo said to me a while ago, he said, he used to open up meetings by saying, I discriminate for a living, which is the opposite of what these people want to hear. He says, I'm only interested in the target market for this product.
Yes.
Right?
Such a good idea. That's what I'm going
I
with
discriminate for a living is what he said. Somebody somewhere has to realize this in all these marketing companies or in all these marketing departments in these companies because they don't get it. You are there to discriminate for a living.
Yeah. So what it comes down to is that all these brands go, oh, we must be part of the discourse or whatever the fuck they say in these meetings. But people, like the people who love Anita, they don't want their brand to now tell them how to be the better people.
Don't lecture people.
Don't lecture people. People don't want to subscribe to your crisis or whatever your thing is, even if it's hugely valid, like we're talking about oil on penguins earlier. Even if that's the next big thing, right? Some people don't want to end their day after editing videos and getting voice notes from Ryan to now be told that they must care about something. They want to get home. They want to open a bottle of wine.
Bitter about this.
They want to get home. They want to open a bottle of wine and see someone like Anita because they would love to be that person.
Yes.
And that's why this weekend, people who haven't watched the show are going to binge the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
Because, like, we've even seen the comments here. Anita,
Well-
I love her. She's my spirit animal.
Oh, yes.
Audrey says Anita doesn't drink that much, and she hates that people cheers all the time, looking in the eyes, like her. She seems to be a bit of a rule breaker. So she's pointing out dumb
But
things.
that's what makes the drama.
Okay,
That's,
What makes people
So
like
she's
her.
pointing out the dumb things the other chicks are doing.
yes.
And that makes people happy because they watch them and they go, oh,
they're
those
doing the same.
stupid tarts.
Yeah.
No, but but they pin them against each other because she'll be like coming with like logic to be like, what the fuck are you doing? And then the other chick is like, excuse me, who the hell do you think you are talking to me like that? So it creates this drama where it's like, ooh, and like women have these clapbacks where they come at you and then they're going to be like, don't come talk to me. You don't even own a Bentley. You can't afford this. You know what I mean? And then it's like this drama and you're like,
just hold on, Simphiwe. I think you're still steaming off the KFC thing, which we've got to get to in a second.
So much. But sorry, can I just finish off with this whole Anita thing?
I do want to hear
So
your...
just for context, if you don't know the whole story, she was basically saying if she was poor, she would jump off a building because being poor is the worst thing in the whole world, and that she actually only worships money because that is all that really matters. So that's the crux of what people were getting so angry about.
Oh, is that what she said? That really?
But who wants to be poor? No one ever has said, you know what? I just can't wait to be poor. Well, I'm going to grow to be. No one's
So
ever
that's
said
not
that.
a controversial thing to say.
It's not. It's just that people feel we got to pander to the poor the whole time, and this is one of those ingrained things. So Anita is everyone's spirit animal. People love her. And someone needs a villain as well.
Well, Carl was saying when we were talking about Miss South Africa and how it used to work, I miss those days. I don't want to hear about how they're going to solve poverty or the climate crisis. Just put a swimming costume on and do this properly.
Yeah. And another thing, Congo Chris actually brings it up. I was going to bring this up as well in that Bud Light thing. If any of their competition brands right now had to run an ad with girls with machine guns and bikinis, with explosions and monster trucks,
right,
they would go through the roof with ratings and sales right now.
Right.
And that's okay.
Apparently, the since you brought up Bud Light, Miller Lite, who's just as shit, piss water. Even if if you like those kind of light beers, good for you. But you have to call it something other than beer. It's really not. And I'm not a beer drinker.
No,
even I can't drink that stuff. It's basically urine. Anyway, the Miller Lite commercial they brought out now is a whole bunch of women talking about how women were the first brewers. And now they've been forced into bikinis in ads for other beers. Now women are taking control of beer. And again, they've forgotten who their target market are. I mean, it's just so weird that a small cluster of angry feminists could have put the fear of God into men who market alcohol. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a great discussion within this professional
A
realm.
small cluster, by the way, of angry feminists who are not drinking beer.
They're not the ones that are buying it. And you know what? Next month, they'll be angry about something else, and then they've already left you in ruin. People got to understand, like people don't care about your passion for activism and these things. They just want to get drunk and probably watch porn. There's a lot of people out there who pay your salary. You can't not think, okay, well, you must be better. No, they pay money so you can keep having a job, so you can have the luxury of being an activist.
There we go. And also, people are so over each other's politics now. It's enough.
Yeah.
No one cares anymore. It's so boring. So Simphiwe, let's get to your bugbear for this morning. KFC, have they irritated you? Or are you happy with them?
No, I'm happy. I guess. I
think. All right, explain.
It's formal more than anything. So
right.
I think I'm one of those. I like trying new things, and they've been doing this thing of like these pop-up malls or stores.
For just selling chicken.
Yeah, but it's a different menu. It's a special menu. So they started in Cape Town and they did like Gatsby's and whatnot. And
right.
You get what I mean? And I was like, it's Cape Town. I'm not missing out on anything. Now they brought it to Johannesburg.
If you tell a colored person that Gatsby is nothing to be missed out, you will be slung up on a tree. They will all throw fruit at you until the rope no longer has
We're
integrity.
talking about KFC and this hype and context. But
coming and knocking Gatsby.
But now they brought it to Pretoria, right? And the pop-up is on for a couple of days with this new menu that you can only get there. And I'm just like, how am I going to get myself to Pretoria? Now I'm missing out on this thing that I'd love to try.
Just go to the Backstreet Boys tonight.
But I'll tell. But so
what's their menu item?
Two of the new things that they've added onto the menu is there's an Uncle Waffles burger. So
that's DJ Uncle Waffles?
Yeah, she's
okay. She from Pretoria?
No, but it's the menu. Like there it is on the screen. Right. Doesn't that look yummy?
No, that looks like a heart attack.
No, that looks scrumptious. I would want to just one bite. And then they have the kota one.
What is the drippings? Like what are the dripping? What is dripping out of that thing? Just go back to the Uncle Waffles thing.
Photoshop's dripping out of that thing. Your Uncle Waffles will look like that's been dropped to the floor.
Let me just ask you, they definitely haven't paid Uncle Waffles, the DJ, for this.
Of course they would have.
I don't.
No, they wouldn't have. No, please. These guys don't care. And then Uncle Waffles, who, it's a woman, by the way, would have to sue them. And then she'd lose because she doesn't have their big corporate money. But that's what happens here.
All I'm saying.
Okay, so it's a waffle burger.
Yes.
Let's just explain to people who are not watching. So it's a burger where the bread parts are made of waffle.
Mm-hmm.
And then what's supposed to be chicken in the middle, although with KFC, that's always debatable. They clearly have got sick of giving people heart attacks with their conventional stuff. Now they're going to branch out into other stuff. Okay.
It's worth a try.
There's a piece of cheese in there that looks like some mayo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then a lot of dripping.
A little slip of yellow on that.
Little bit of dripping going on there too.
Mayo and barbecue sauce.
And then they have the kota one. And like Joburg, East Rand is known for the kota. So I want to try the kota burger or whatever they have there. I want to try it and I can't because they're all the way in Pretoria. So I'm having FOMO and I'm a bit mad because I think today's the last day or something like that. I don't know. But I'm just upset. That's it.
You don't be wearing a white shirt into these things, huh?
What, are KFC working for the World Economic Forum? They're trying their best to actually reduce population one meal at a time. What's going on here?
People eat worse.
You think?
Yeah.
Than that thing on the screen?
Guys, at least you know that's been made relatively recently because there's a huge amount of traffic on this.
Okay. All right. Good.
Yeah, that's it.
Let's move on. But there we go. Very, very good.
Is that it? Nice, Simphiwe. If that's what's really catching your... Getting your goat, so to speak.
There's other things, but those are the ones that I want to try. Those are the things, and I can't because it's like it's an exclusive thing, and it's like I'm missing out.
Someone in Pretoria this weekend is going to watch Backstreet Boys and have an Uncle Waffles chicken burger. I mean,
we think I'm an illegitimate child come 3 months' time,
and pay cheap money for beer. I mean, we don't live in the worst place, guys.
Yeah, no, we don't actually. Life is good. You've got to take the small wins.
Yeah.
This is actually, for some people, this may be the best weekend ever coming up. Might even be yours. You don't know. Simphiwe, go and buy one of these things. Makes you happy.
I'm not going to Pretoria, though.
Can you not get it?
No, I'm not doing that.
Come on.
Eats it to or something like that.
From Pretoria to East Rand. We're not doing that thing. No.
These Uber drivers.
You sound excited, so maybe this was worth it.
I think you should, Simphiwe, don't give up on your dreams.
Don't give up on your dreams.
Come on. If this is what you want, if this will make your weekend work.
Oh,
do it. Come on.
The admin behind it is not worth it.
You do not want to have regrets about the kota from Pretoria's KFCs. Please do it.
KFC credit here because they haven't gone out and said, you know what, we're making this burger because we're actually tired of killing chickens and chickens.
Yeah, some woke shit.
They're
like, we're going to kill more chickens.
They're still, exactly. They're still doubling down on what they do for you.
Right. Do it, Simphiwe, please.
No.
I'll find out where they're selling them.
Someone in Pretoria buy an extra one.
Yeah, please, and bring it to Simphiwe. Just make her day. And she deserves to be happy.
Because with all the sauce on that, that'll keep for a week. Basically, formaldehyde is what fast food is. You'll be fine. Just please get an extra one. Bring it.
Oh man,
smart KFC. This is how you make money.
I'm happy that you listen. You've got to please, Simphiwe, do the things that make you happy. All right, so the diet plan that makes the most sense.
Absolutely.
What is this? From the sublime to the ridiculous. Okay, let's go.
No, are you going to play it? Because I gave you the short because
I got a clip.
No one describes things as well as Alex Hormizi.
Who is Alex Hormizi?
He's a multi-millionaire, smart as hell guy.
Okay, let's have a look. I've never heard of this dude, so here we go.
People think it's crazy that I've eaten 200 grams of protein for almost 20 straight years, every single day. And I do that because it's way easier for me to live my life. And of all the people that I've seen who've been in insane shape for extended periods of time, they never follow crash diets. They never follow anything crazy. They follow a few rules that works well for them. For me, I know I have to have my 200 grams of protein just to maintain the muscle mass that I have. And then in order to get my calories in, I just backfill whatever I feel like to get the calories. And so whether that's cookies, whether it's pies, whether it's cupcakes, or a big bowl of pasta and rice. It doesn't really matter. I'll have my shake, I'll have a couple steaks, and then I'm good to go.
See, okay, so you can actually go.
You eat anything you want as long as you have enough protein.
So I've tried to stop watching these things now because I think I've got enough information for myself on how I want to live. But this dude,
and you've trolled the internet.
I have, and for 3 years I've done this, and that guy's just basically described my diet. I go high protein, then I eat whatever the hell I want from there. So as long as I'm having this good, if I can, so basically you meant to have a gram of protein for a pound of body weight that you are. So you average sort of 100 kilogram man maybe needs 200 grams. So you break it down like that. I'm not going to go into calculations. That'll be very boring.
No, but okay. So if you're a 100 kilogram guy,
you should be getting 200 grams of protein.
That's easy. 200 grams of protein's not a lot.
Well, it is.
No, it isn't. 200 grams of protein would be like a steak.
No, because a steak only has like 40 grams of 20, 30 grams of protein.
So how much steak do you have to eat?
A fair amount, because the thing is, like, a chicken breast isn't just pure protein. It's not 100% protein.
Oh, right. I see.
So
what
like
you
an
mean.
egg isn't just, so you break down like that. But what this guy's saying is, as long as you have that, it keeps you at a certain stage, and then you just need calories to get you through the day, right? So everyone talks about you can't eat this, you can't eat that. It's like, you know nothing. You basically need to run your body on fuel. Fuel is calories. Make sure you have enough, not too many, and enjoy your life. Go to KFC, buy whatever they want to throw down your face. As long as you've had good protein, that can be part of the protein.
All right. So the protein obviously switches on the machine that gets your body working.
Well, it maintains your muscle mass,
right,
and your strength.
But essentially, the protein switches on everything and feeds that machine.
More your calories feed and process.
Okay, but protein is the good calories.
No, your protein's your building block. So you need that to maintain your muscle mass and your strength. The other stuff is what fuels you the rest of the day. So people talk about being in a calorie deficit.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have 7 of those Uncle Waffles burgers if your output is warranting it. So when people look at the food and go, "Oh, that's terrible," like, I've never looked as good, and I still eat as much sweet stuff as I want because I have the other foundations. And why I shared that clip as a talking point, someone to talk about today,
right,
is because that guy just absolutely nails it. Where everyone else will tell you about macros and they'll tell you about all this other shit and about weighing stuff, he just broke it down to you in a minute of awesomeness. And this is the kind of stuff that we need to, like, actually subscribe to as humans.
He looks like early man, though. I mean, he obviously,
because he's rich, obnoxious, and can do whatever he wants.
Right, like Anita from Real Housewives. Rich, obnoxious, and can do
he's
whatever
beholden to nobody. He's got hundreds of millions of dollars. He's smart.
Okay, good.
He seems to like his wife, and he just does stuff because he wants to be
Seems to like his wife.
Well, yeah, I mean, you never know. But he's married. He's been married to from a young age.
All right. George Mienie even climbed on this one. He says, protein stops you from becoming a weak fucker. Right.
No, exactly.
Spot on.
Exactly.
But what's your take on protein shakes?
Good. Because if you're going to have the meal, like preparation time, all that kind of stuff, you're still getting your protein in. And it's also helping you get your calories in.
Yeah, Congo
all
Chris
stuff, guys,
says
so
he's
easier.
also slamming the weights. Cardio is cool, but all but pumping iron is much better for your health and long term. But I love you way through this. Okay,
if you want to look more lean and lose weight, personal trainer told me that.
Lift heavy shit.
Exactly. Be stronger.
Right. Okay. Well, there we go. We've handed out some compliments this morning. I mean, this what's his name? Alex
Homizi.
Homizi. We handed out compliments to KFC this morning. Compliments to Anita from Real Housewives.
Just people living their lives. Yeah?
Right.
Yeah.
You know what? Good. I think the saddest thing that could happen to you this weekend is you try to please other people that don't even care about you. That would be a terrible way to spend your weekend. So if there's one thing you don't do this weekend, it's that.
Yeah.
Don't try to please people who don't actually give a shit about you.
Yeah.
Huh?
And it's cold, guys, so don't make desperate decisions, please.
Yeah, just so you have someone warm in the bed with you. Yeah. Don't make a terrible decision. Go pick up some
asking for a lot,
some coarse cougar from the Backstreet Boys concert.
People just throwing out some lines here. She wants KFC. She wants a warm body.
Yeah, but don't be desperate. Don't make the wrong decision. That's all I'm saying.
Is this true? Here's a comment being made by Congo Chris. Is a protein shake fart chemical warfare? That is, right?
Well, only if you put someone into a confined space and then sort of harness your asshole for bad.
Okay. All right. Well, we're not going to go down the Andre the Giant road that we did last week. Yeah. All right. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen. We've been waiting for the triumphant return of Hi Rob. who of course has been a part of the show. He's like that girl who went missing in 2017 and was suddenly reunited with her family after someone recognized her from Netflix.
Rob abducted himself.
Yeah, because we haven't seen him in ages. But Hi Rob is back, and we're going to talk a little bit about where you've been in between. How you doing, dude? Nice to see you.
Guys?
Yeah, there he is.
Can you hear me fine?
Yeah. You're where are you, in Lisbon?
Yeah, I'm in Lisbon, Portugal.
Ha!
Yeah.
All right. So give us the précis version of where you've been.
Yeah, so this is like my character arc, but I left. I got out of Amsterdam because, for obvious reasons, it was a detriment to my life.
Yeah, just too much of the drugs and booze and rock and roll, right?
Yeah, I was heading down a dark path, and I think Ben already spoke about some of it on the show. It's probably why I got. What
was the dark path? I mean, was it just the drugs and the parties and the booze? Was it sluts? What give us the.
No. Well, I actually maintained a girlfriend through that entire period, which was impressive.
What?
But I needed someone. For me, I got to a point where it wasn't about girls and stuff. It was just about getting fucked up and ending up in fish. So I used to go on 3-day benders and wind up in cat holes. And actually, I remember sending pictures to our friendship group of me after a 3-day bender. And I think that's when both Gordon and Ben decided to leave the group.
All right.
So, for obvious reasons. And then, I decided to get out of there and move to Toronto, which was a good move for me, but the place was a shithole. Don't ever go to Toronto. It's a dump.
Okay, so why? Because a lot of people say to me, Canada is paradise, and Toronto especially is wonderful. It's the New York of the North. Is that not true?
No. Toronto is when you order New York from Wish. That's what you get Toronto.
What makes it so shit in Toronto?
I'm about to lay it out. So basically, when I say it's cold, just hold on. When I say it's cold, I got off the plane and my cold was cold. It's -30. Your skin actually gets hard because it's so cold. You've never had cold like this. I'm just telling you, right? And it's basically like that for, I would say, 8 months of the year.
Oh my God.
Cold.
Uninhabitable.
Yeah. So because the people are so depressed in Toronto, and to stop them committing suicide, they give them dogs. So they ship these dogs in from Texas.
Oh, wow.
And everyone has a dog. I swear to God, I didn't meet people who didn't have a dog. Now, what that leads to is that the streets are just covered in dog shit. So I call it the city of dog shit. And what they've done is so much dog shit that they actually start building the streets out of the dog shit. And that's just it, right? I'm not even joking. When I used to walk to work, it's like hopscotch because I never saw the skyline because I'm looking down because there's so much shit on the floor. And then in summer, what happens is the ice froze the shit. And then what happens is it defrosts all the shit. So then there's just more shit on the street.
What an appalling place! I had no idea. I mean, you've been in Joburg. You've seen the worst parts of Cape Town and Joburg, and we're very hard on ourselves as South Africans. I mean, we've got a lot of challenges, as the government keeps telling us. But this sounds just appalling, and this is how people choose to live.
No, it's a lot of people that come from in my opinion, they should just bomb the east coast of Canada, keep the west coast and save New York. Just drop a bomb on it. And I think it's a lot of people that came from poorer countries and want a better life. It's fine, but the people that live there, they've never traveled. I spoke to a lot of people that maybe they would have gone to the West Coast. Vancouver's a big thing for them.
Mm-hmm.
Just really simpletons. It reminds me of a really idiocracy of a people living in one town. And the other thing is, it's the most expensive. Now, I've lived across the world. It's the most expensive place by far that I've ever lived. Insane.
Oh.
It's just like a city full of wastrels. Anyway, I don't want to bash on it too much.
Okay, all right. So
I lived there for 11 months.
All right, so you went from Amsterdam, which is this amazing, fun, exciting place. It was almost too much. You definitely sampled all of the good of Amsterdam. but you had to get out, and you went to a dog shit filled ice house.
Yes.
And then that kind of got you right. That was literally cold turkey in so many ways. And then you've now decided on Lisbon.
Yeah.
What was the decision that made Lisbon work? Because Sergio says you could see Rob is in Lisbon. He's got a wife beater tee, gold chain, and a serious undercut. Is that like standard uniform?
Yeah. No, the thing is, I would say like I've traveled a lot in Europe, and like luckily I have an Italian passport, so it makes me being able to go to anywhere in Europe a lot easier. But I always thought, okay, well, what's the place? I grew up in Cape Town, so I was like, what's the place that's closest in Europe to Cape Town with everything that I like? Ocean, climate, like culture, people, and cost. And for me, former president of Dog Shit City. I actually have PTSD. I have to tell you, just one note. I used to come out of my apartment, and I've never seen human beings angling to watch their dogs actually shit in the morning. And I know they used to tell it's like insides, or if it's eating well by the shit. And I used to know that, you know, when it's like heating up in summer and you there's steam rising, that was actually from the dog shits in the dog park. You used to see the steam rising, and that was from multiple shits.
Oh, this is horrendous. Rob, this is probably the worst. This is the worst ad for Toronto since that Rob Ford became the mayor. He's a big, fat, useless politician.
I will send you who's running for mayor now. You'll probably fall out of your chair. But anyway, back to the port story. So Portugal was the best offer. Plus, there's a visa called the NHR, right? Yeah. No, I will tell you again. So there's a visa for the NHR.
Explain why you're laughing. People listening to the podcast don't know what this is.
Says Harold at Kook 766 trying to be poorer.
So we changed Rob's title on the show a couple of times.
Yeah.
All right, go on.
Yeah, so there's a 20% tax ruling here. So I have a 20% tax for 10 years.
That's great.
And you can apply for that for a number of reasons. You don't even have to be European. You can just get that if you have a certain amount of money in your bank account. It's like 10,000 euros, which is not much. And then you just tick a couple of boxes. It's an incentive that's, they've had here for a couple of years to get foreigners to come and live here and stuff, and not take jobs here, but just come and invest into Portugal. But so now there's this huge thing going on, which is actually quite insane. Now, obviously, I was in Portugal. So lately what's happened is the prices of housing in Lisbon and rental have risen because all these expats are coming here. Now, I live right near the Parliament building, and the local people actually hate digital nomads. We arrived, and they're having these protests to stop digital nomads coming here or the rising of houses. So from me going out sometimes and meeting Portuguese people, I've learned not to say that I live here. I just say I'm on holiday, because otherwise, yes, that's true. I'm abusing the Portuguese loopholes, and it's not my problem personally.
So what did the Portuguese people feel about this?
Because think about it. They're protesting and they got signs saying "fuck digital nomads." So I'm just like, I'm on holiday, y'all, just here visiting.
You don't want to tell them that you're earning money there.
No, well, I don't even earn money in Portugal because I work digitally online. But it is fucked up because the rental prices are, like, in my opinion, were super good. I mean, I'm renting like a palace, and there's people like protesting that they don't have rooms for their family. I got my own gym, I got my own office, and I feel bad now because it's obviously shit for them, and I do understand their plight, but life's also a bitch. So I don't know, what I can do about it.
But people are also pointing out that Portugal famously got rid of all their drug laws, and they decriminalized drugs. And I think that it's been a huge success story for them. I mean, they actually have
zero.
What's your
people,
observation? Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, I would say that Portugal, there's like zero poverty. Like there's, I honestly been here for since March, and I haven't seen anyone homeless living in a tent.
Wow.
And I've got my motorbike down here, so I've ridden around pretty much everywhere by now. Like Porto, no, I haven't been there. Sintra, Cascais, it's a beautiful place. It seems to be working, but I mean, like every government, there's a lot of protests. I'm by the Parliament building, and the housing is just issue because the minimum wage is fucked. Like, from what they earn. So it's pretty crazy. And that's why I will say rule one, if you're ever going to live in Portugal, don't say you live here to people who live here. That's my advice.
And the Portuguese are so stupid, they're going to believe you. So that's
even though they see you every other day.
I feel so horrible saying this, but sometimes I say they're like NPCs. They just kind of doing their thing and stuff.
Non-player characters for people who don't game. Yeah.
They're just like part of the quest.
But, so it seems like you've really turned a corner. You've got a lot of very different stuff going on in your life to the Hi Rob we spoke to a couple of years ago. So I mean, this is all very exciting. Are you still having fun, letting loose? Have you found some Portuguese women to?
I actually moved here. I met a girl in Toronto that I moved here with.
A dog shit girl
that you saved clearly.
Yeah, no, that I saved. No, she actually was from Vancouver and then moved to Toronto. She also didn't like Toronto. So we moved there at like a similar time and then met. And then I was like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. So, we're going to Portugal. And then she just decided to come with me. And now it's like,
nice.
Adjusting and moving in. So the place is still full of all boxes and all those stuff just around Toronto. So, yeah, I mean, look, I still like to obviously let loose occasionally. I'll never, but it's very far and few between. The weekends I spend most are just riding my bike and, just taking it easy and like going for dinners and stuff. So that's me now, you got to focus on like your career at the moment, health, and like where you're going to be in the next 5 years. Cause I'm not living in that,
So Clint from the Val says sober Rob's voice even sounds different. What a positive change. I'm still deciding.
Life catches up with you. It caught up with me fast, and like having not progressed in my career or done what I wanted to, it was like a huge wake up. I mean, like I'm 31 right now. Not that I'm saying that's old, but I don't want to wake up when I'm 35 and be like in a fucking ditch living with a roommate in Amsterdam. Because that's where I was going. And you're only cool for so long. Like I realized like, if you're young and you're like somehow okay looking, you can get past with things. When you get older, that shit doesn't fly.
Yeah. Nobody cares.
Closed doors, Rob. Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody generally, if you're not good looking, life is very, very difficult. But when you're old and no longer good looking,
I would say if you're old, ugly, and poor, just find a bridge.
That's what Anita was saying. This is sound advice.
Well, we're helping people. We're helping people to shortcut to their solutions to their problems.
Be a game ranger. That's your second choice.
Yeah, be a game ranger. I mean, that's a good life, right?
Bond with animals, because humans don't want to fuck with you.
Yeah. So Carl says, Rob, is it the place with the biggest disparity in attractiveness between young women and old women? And Gareth, don't you dare call the Portuguese stupid because, of course, he's Carl de Santos, so that's why he's
great Swiss name there.
Yeah.
From the Nordics, I think. No.
Yeah. So go on.
So like I would say that there's a lot of like the girls that are very young are super attractive, like just on the beaches and stuff like that. I mean, we're saying between 20 and up. Like there is in Lisbon, the older Portuguese women that I've seen, like more like upper class or that I've kind of entangled with, seem very beautiful, well kept. Now I'm not talking the ones who fuck around in the fishing villages. These are the ones who live like, these are the ones who live in like the cosmopolitan Lisbon. The fishmongers down in like fucking some of the places. Nah.
So the black headscarf that they tie under the chin. And...
I mean, it looks like they have like leather skin and like they've been weathered.
We know that look. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Straight pain.
Clint is being very unkind. He says Portuguese women age like milk. That's terrible. That's very, very mean. Don't you think, Simphiwe?
Very, very.
I've never interacted with a Portuguese girl, and none of my friends here have either. The Portuguese stick with the Portuguese. That's what I've learned here. It's very rare a Portuguese girl will go from, it's from years of like drunk Brits coming and just mangling locals.
Right.
To realize that, any English-speaking person with tattoos is not a go.
Well, I mean, that's probably the worst kind of person you can meet in Portugal, is like an English yob who's there on holiday for the summer and gets burnt in the sun. And
horrible, poor people just coming
But Rob,
in.
I mean, like, are there definite areas? So, like, you'll find all those yobbo louts go there. Are there certain areas like that? Is it quite like fragmented?
Yeah. There's certain areas where when you're walking down a place and people are calling you to come have €1 shots. That's where the Brits will mingle. Like that's where they go. And it's like the neon lights and the cheap piss beer and just it's with their shorts and their shirts. They are like NPCs basically.
And they sit around in their vests singing "Torre Melinos," that kind of thing, right?
I've never despised a group of people so much as you get nice British people. I've met a lot, but some of the British people that are like, they come from they've saved up for months on this holiday and they come in with their boys and they're just looking for trouble, and that's what's caused a hatred for the locals from people that look like me probably, and just causing shit. But I will say, as a place to visit, I mean, Lisbon's one of the oldest cities in Europe, I think.
It's beautiful. I've been to Lisbon, but not for a very long time, and I thought it was absolutely magnificent. I mean, it's charming. The food is really good. The people seem very friendly. It's got great weather all year round. It's a really nice place to be. I can totally see why you'd be there. And also they are really trying very hard to attract people from the rest of the world, to make Portugal better, to make Portugal richer, to make Portugal more prosperous. If only I wonder if that's ever occurred to our government, that you might give tax breaks, for example, to people who want to come and spend their money here. I wonder if that ever occurred to them.
No, never do that. But I mean, this is life, right? You'll see this all the time. Like, people with the leathery skin don't like this kind of stuff because cosmopolitan is a C word they don't like.
Yeah.
Because it just makes their life more difficult because they've got that ceiling. Whereas if you want to be prosperous as a nation, you've got to try bringing people like Rob and other people who are going to bring in outside. Because if you think about it, he's actually the dream person, right? He's not taking jobs. He's making foreign income. And he spends it there on those fishmongers stores.
Yeah,
exactly. And the food's great. And I think the misconception is people think, Portugal's really cheap. I mean, in outlying areas, possibly in Lisbon, I would say it's not that cheap. I mean, compared to Amsterdam, it's a little bit cheaper than Amsterdam when you're going out for food and drinks and stuff. But other than that, I mean, it's up there, because they can charge it now because they know people will pay. In fact, when we were looking for a place to rent when we just arrived here, the hosts or the people showcasing the places love to show it to foreigners because they know Portugal people just can't afford it, and that's why they put up a huge upfront deposit because the people will pay it. It's the same in Amsterdam. It's the craziest thing is that they can just put it to whatever they want because some dickhead will pay it. It's a seller's market, it's a renter's market at this point.
Yeah, that's life.
Yeah.
Do you hear from Gord?
Yeah, I actually feel bad because I was in Cape Town for a while and I didn't see him, but he did message me. I did want to see him, but I had a lot going on. I was still, I have a startup company that I was working on, and my girl was down there, and it was just a lot of things going on. And Gord doesn't drink or do drugs, so for me, it's hard to hang out with someone who who doesn't do that. Well, I actually hate saying that. I mean, it's nice to have a beer with someone, if you know what I'm saying. But
Gord does he not even have a beer?
Dude, he doesn't drink.
At all. I always find that's.
You speak to him.
I haven't spoken to Gordon in a few months.
Okay, well then.
Really, Ben? At all? Yeah. Wow.
No,
these guys are turning on him, huh?
No one's turning. Our lives move on, right? It's the same thing. We're all so busy with stuff.
We had friendship arcs. I mean, Ben messaged me for the first time in what was 3-4 years. No, it was 2 years.
Right.
But in my mind, it's I was in a fucked up place. I wouldn't want to have that energy.
Well, I mean, there's a lot to catch up on. I think you three should start the High Council up again. What the hell?
Well, Gord doesn't drink. I mean, I don't drink a lot, but I think you should always have that little part to have something. It's called balance, But then again, Gord's done the most out of all three of us.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he lost Rob, basically.
Yeah.
Weight wise.
Oh, weight wise, yeah, and as a friend.
No, I still love Gord.
Rob, very good to see you, dude. And I'm delighted that you are living in Lisbon and living it up and continuing to be hilariously informative about places like Toronto. That was my highlight of the morning. It's just a dog shit strewn, cold, horrible place for losers. That's really
I have PTSD just thinking about it. Terrible place.
What's next on your agenda?
Dude, just to be settled down and grow my career and just live a very chilled life and settle in. I think the best thing about me and being here is that for the first time I'm in a place where I'm like, this is where I'll be forever. I think being in a place where you're not settled, and I never thought I was going to live in Amsterdam forever. I love it, but it's just it could be a trap. Right. The weather's shocking. And if you live in Amsterdam, it might as well be an island, because everywhere surrounding in Amsterdam is a total dump. Hate to say that. Sorry. It's just true. And then, Toronto, I mean, wow, scary. And it's beautiful. Climate, everything. So I suggest anyone thinking about coming on holiday comes to visit Portugal, Lisbon. Beautiful. Porto, Algarve.
Right.
Guys.
And there are a lot of South Africans who've moved to Portugal too.
I was telling Ben he should just go and join a golf club there and start the Ben Live Life Golf Academy, where old Brits can work out mentally.
Absolutely. No, Rob, it's definitely going to happen. It's a 5-year plan. I just need to get through this year, and then I think that's definitely the future.
I don't know how you guys are still not planning to leave. I mean, my mom told me the other day there was 11 hours of load shedding and the rand.
11 hours. That's luxury. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that was a good time.
I mean, really.
Stop teasing us.
Honestly, what are you trying to do? Make us feel bad?
No, I know. It just sounds crazy at the moment, honestly.
All right. Very good. Listen, hi, Rob. We'll catch up with... Can we call you Hi, Rob anymore? I don't think we can.
I mean, I miss those days in a way, but I'm not like that anymore. So I don't know if the name fits.
Yeah, I think we got to change your name. Damn. I thought that one was set in stone. All right. Listen, dude.
Basic Rob.
Good. Basic Rob. Love it. All right. Thanks, dude. Nice to see you.
Yeah, take it easy. Cheers. Bye.
George Mienie's here, and he's not wearing... George, we were very captivated by your pink jacket that you wore in the last Auto Trader podcast. And you're not wearing it today. I'm very upset about that.
Oh, I would have worn it in that case.
I mean, really. We liked it very much.
Where did you acquire that, George?
There's
it looked tailored. I mean, it was a piece of work.
No, it's not actually. It's a Carducci jacket, which is kind of just
off the
run of the mill, off the rack.
Okay.
I just seem to have one of those standard sized frames.
Lucky you see.
That's
what you get for keeping trim.
Not like Gareth, but trunky around the middle.
If that's what you call it, modified.
Bit trunky around the middle. Is that a thing? Simphiwe, are we going to stand this? No, we're not going to stand this. We're going to complain. All right. So, how are things, Borge? What's been happening?
Yeah, good. I'm feeling a lot fitter than I was a month or two ago.
Already?
My blood pressure has come down.
Oh, good. Because I remember when you went that Cape Town trip and you were just shitting yourself. It was not good.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on, but for about 2 months, I was not well.
It's the vaccine, George.
I don't know what the fuck was going on, but
it was the vaccine. That's anything anybody goes through now, they're like, oh, it's the vaccine.
But my blood pressure I was seriously getting concerned about it. I'm actually seeing a cardiologist on Monday, which I do every 2 years.
Isn't that the place you bought your jacket? The cardiologist? All right. So what do we got today?
So you might know what this stuff is. I don't. It's called phosphogypsum. Don't know what that is, but Florida. We haven't had a story from Florida in a while. Florida are now, they've just passed legislation for Florida to start making roads out of this stuff called phosphogypsum.
Oh my God.
Which is a radioactive waste
nice
material. So
on the roads.
byproduct of fertilizer.
They're going to make the roads out of this.
Yes, they're
So we're
gonna
going to get radiation out of the roads.
Where would they have the surplus in that they can make a road, though? Is there something that's a byproduct of something?
It's apparently spilling into waterways. There's all this radioactive waste that is spilling into waterways and coming out of places that it shouldn't come out of. So now they're going to collect it and use it to make roads, apparently. So
I don't know if I'm in favor of this. I think anything radioactive, or even if it's just a side product that isn't necessarily radioactive itself, if it comes from that, and as Ben says, how many nuclear reactors are there working overtime to produce enough of this to make roads?
Well, it's obviously a byproduct of something that's happening. I'd like to know what that is.
Yes,
well,
it sounds dodgy.
part of the report says a leak in March 21 at a stack called Piney Point resulted in the release of an estimated 215 million or 814 million liters of polluted water into Tampa Bay.
Oh my God!
And so then now
so this is a cover up. This is is.
Oh, nothing to see here. Just look at the nice new roads we're building you. They might glow at night, but they're great.
Exactly.
Phosphogypsum.
I mean, interesting that they're doing it in Florida of all places.
All right. Okay,
of
well,
all places.
Good for Florida. They're always at the leading edge of weird.
So in Piney Point, there's a phosphate plant.
Oh. Listen, don't knock phosphorus too much because we need it in fertilizers.
Well, it's a byproduct.
It's in our bones.
Well, I mean, there's plants of them.
Yes. Clearly, Piney Point does sound dodgy as hell, right, Simphiwe? Where have you been? Oh, I was just working at Piney Point. That's where I am.
Sounds like a made-up place.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
It's in Florida.
It does sound like an old age home, actually. That should be. We'll call the old age home we build for all the bands that come to South Africa. We'll call it Piney Point.
All the reality shows happen in Florida.
All right, what else you got for us, Borge?
Well, here's a good thing. Subaru have started making shopping bags out of leftover airbag fabric. That's a very smart.
Today is the theme of today's podcast with you. Reusing old shit no one wants. Yes. What are you going to tell us about next? That they found a use for the Trabant?
No, but then the next one's a little bit more economic. But
no, hang on, I'm still on this thing. So then now, what we don't have enough horrible bag. I mean, like Woolworths is impossible to shop at anymore because the bags are like 18 rand each.
Yeah.
Have you seen that tree that they've got in most Woolworths stores where it's bring a bag, take a bag story?
Yes, I've seen that. I have.
There's never any bags on there.
Yeah,
because people obviously take more than they give.
So it's take culture.
It's the culture of take. And now instead of having plastic bags lying around on the sides of the roads, we've now got Woolworths bags.
Apparently those. I mean, it's not only Woolworths. It's Leroy Merlin and a whole bunch of them use or make those bags.
Leroy Merlin sounds like a place you go for magic supplies. What do you buy there? Like
it's a hardware
wands
store.
and owls and cages.
French hardware store. Not a French hardware store, but it's a French brand.
Okay.
And they're competitor to
like Builders Warehouse.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you do a lot of DIY?
I do.
Okay, so that would be a useful place. Is there one near you?
There's.
Very good.
Like 3 blocks away.
Okay, so this is it. So, Borge, how many of your Saturdays and or Sundays are spent going to that place and then coming home and making something or fixing
Probably
something?
50%.
There we go.
Yeah. Exactly.
That is also, I must tell you, Simphiwe, you think that that's boring right now. There's going to be a point in your life, and I'm not trying to rush you here. There will be a point somewhere in the very near future where this will be the most exciting thing you get to do. I love it, and it is so much fun. You go to a hardware store, Simphiwe. I know, just use a bit of imagination.
I don't think hardware. I mean, I get the whole like Tupperware thing.
Not yet.
You know, I get excited about that. I get excited about linen now and curtains.
Home improvement becomes the most unbelievably important thing in your life at some point.
I'll tell you what I'm doing right now, right? So that's this weekend. So I have a room upstairs that was my gym.
Okay.
I allocated, there was gym equipment in it. I decided, I'm fed up putting the gym in the garage because the garage had some space.
Right.
So I lugged all the gym equipment downstairs. I made it look, nice and comfortable. And after about 6 months of doing gym in the garage, I was like, no, this is feeling a bit dingy and dark. I want to move the gym back
And in
upstairs.
winter, it's going to be shit, right?
Yes, exactly. Winter's going to be shit. So I'm like, oh, no. I really made a mistake. I need to move the gym back upstairs.
Well, that alone is the cardio you needed. Just moving all the
well,
gym
it's now
stuff.
putting down the mats, those little foam mats, and moving the gym back upstairs.
But
So-
you see, like you've seen George when he does the show, he always does it properly. Everything George does, he does properly. So he's made his gym a proper gym. It's not like if I had a gym, it would be a pull-up thing in the garage.
No, but that's not a gym.
I know, but George does things properly.
I'll do the show out of the gym when I'm done.
If you've only got 1 square meter of wall, that is a gym.
Yeah, correct. And I mean, I don't have space for that in my house. George has so many rooms in his house.
Gareth's got a garage full of pottery and potpourri and all those
And
kind
all
of
the
things.
chemicals.
Well,
Potpourri.
he has
Potpourri in my
a
house.
chemical lab.
What is potpourri? what is that?
He's got old candle canisters.
You're the guy of potpourri in my house.
He has fencing.
You have potpourri?
No.
I don't even know what that is. What is potpourri?
In the 90s, you could not be a woman in this country unless you had potpourri.
Well, I wasn't a woman in the 90s.
I
I'm
know,
not
but it's just something
the opposite of Caitlyn Jenner. How do you know about potpourri? What is it? Hang on, George. Sorry.
There was an entire business called Biggie Best. And
I remember that.
Everything was potpourri. The couches. This thing was such a big deal.
I know what Ben's talking about, actually.
That there used to be couch prints of potpourri.
Yes. It was like this cream color with flowers on it.
It was.
Get out of here, guys. Now.
It was an entire vibe.
Potpourri.
Everything from
Gareth,
like.
Google potpourri couch.
Hang on.
I grew up on a potpourri couch. This is why I'm who I
It's
am.
a real thing.
Potpourri. That's what it is. So you spell it potpourri.
Yes.
It's a mixture of dried petals and spices placed in a bowl to perfume a room.
Delightful. And then they made an entire thing out of it. There was bedspreads.
Potpourri fabric. Let me see.
It's
They got
It's
things
proper.
here. There's tons of pictures on Google Images. Wow. Potpourri. It was a real thing.
made
hey?
whole curtains and couches out of that stuff.
Exactly. Potpourri curtains. If you did not have them, people would look in on your house in absolute shame.
All right.
It was
Okay.
like doilies.
All right. Gray even knows it's dried rose petals, and he's a man. So I feel that I really need to get with it. Okay. Anyway, so Borge, you've been doing a lot of home improvement. We digressed slightly into potpourri. Let's get back on track.
I don't know if you know of this company in America called Carvana. So Carvana was, you probably know of this story though, linked to Carvana, was a company tried to sell cars using a vending machine. Maybe you saw stories about that.
It's a hell of a big
Right.
vending
It's a
machine.
massive vending machine. If you Google it, you'll see Carvana's vending machine.
Okay.
So you would go, there would be very little resource input. So the Carvana wouldn't have to have staff there. You could go and buy your car. It would come down the vending machine. You could buy it online and then go fetch it from the vending machine.
Sure. Okay.
Obviously, this thing didn't make.
I mean, what they just didn't think of the idea of car dealerships. It just
Well,
didn't occur to
they
them.
wanted to circumvent car dealerships. They didn't want car dealerships. They wanted to have a different model to sell cars. It hasn't really worked.
No, it's like that tree in Woolworths, which someone tells me was Brent Lindeque's idea.
Yeah, I think he sold it to Spa, and then Woolworths stole it from Spa.
Oh,
bad things happen because you deserve them.
Yeah.
This is like Apple.
So the car vending machine thing's not working.
Well, it's a Carvana is I think under some financial pressure, but
Usually when you spend, and most people's biggest assets aside from their houses usually are cars. You're not going to go and do that at a vending machine. A vending machine is something you buy snacks from if there's nothing else in a bed and breakfast or a hotel.
Well, I mean, I digress off the story for a second. It goes down to easy money up to the last probably 6 to 12 months.
Okay.
People would come up with these weird and wonderful ideas, and venture capitalists would throw money at them.
Yeah.
And I think this is one of those stories, in my opinion. But it doesn't always work.
Yeah, I can imagine a bunch of like Silicon Valley bank guys getting together and going, "Hey man, like I've heard the most brilliant idea. Let's see if we can really mess people around. Like we'll all throw couple of million into a vending machine for cars. It's going to work, man."
That's how those things worked.
Yeah.
And then fintech exploded.
Playing with the house's money.
Yeah, exactly. It's not the case at the moment because everybody's now chasing profits. But Carvana buys cars and then sells them, obviously.
There was a woman
second-hand
called
cars.
Carvana who used to be on TV selling potpourri in the 80s. Pretty sure.
They bought a stolen Maserati in North Carolina. Put this thing in the vending machine, and some dude came and bought it for 1.3 million rand. It was a Maserati Levante. Got his car out of the vending machine, and it turned out to be a stolen car.
Oh, that's bad press.
That's very bad press.
Not good for the vending machine business.
Not good, because I'm pretty sure if it was a normal dealership, there would be some checks.
Yeah. Well, this is exactly why the dealership is a tried and tested way of buying a car.
Exactly.
People might not, these Gen Z and millennials don't want to talk to anyone because they don't even know how to talk on text.
Yes.
They're terrified of these kinds of actual interactions, but you need to go and kick the tires.
Yes.
Right,
exactly.
George? That's what you guys in the trade refer. You kick the tires.
You got to go and kick the tires.
Right.
This is a big purchase.
Yes.
You've got to go kick the tires. I mean, we've just launched price ratings. The next thing is
with that very good ad of yours that we played last week, which
next
we love.
thing is dealer ratings. We're going to do some kind of Hello Peter type review on car dealerships, which we're already doing it in the background. So
excellent.
Car dealers are getting their reviews.
Good.
George, this is a bold step. You're going to get guys from the East Ront showing up at where you live. Is that, hey, what's this about your dealership?
Yo, why don't you give me a 3 out of 10 with a tire iron in there?
But believe it or not, there's some good dealerships out there that get some good reviews.
Oh, there's some fantastic ones. I mean, the one I took my car to get serviced at was brilliant. It was just seamless, great process. They seem to like what they do.
Exactly.
And it should be like that.
So, Carvana, you can't get away from a car dealership, unfortunately.
I'm telling you, one of the characters in Dallas was named Carvana. I'm telling you, I don't know it for sure, but I know.
He was a horse wrangler.
Yeah, and it was a woman with big hair.
Yeah.
Dolly Parton tits.
Potpourri.
Right. And potpourri. She smelled of potpourri. By the way, just to wrap this up, Carl dos Santos, who's Portuguese, says, I think I was conceived in a potpourri couch.
Yep. Not uncommon.
There we go. Very good. All right. Well, if you want to see George's ad, you need to go onto the YouTubes and look it up. It's fantastic. It's also about a couch.
Yes.
Not a potpourri one, but a Cyril Ramaphosa one that's stuffed with money. Very good. All right, everybody. Have a happy weekend and beware of the Cougars in Pretoria tonight. Woo! If you've been at a loose end since Billy the Bum's closed down, have we got news for you? They're all coming out like moths to the flame, burned by the fire. My love is blind. Can you see my desire? Because that's the way love goes.
You got to put potpourri in this.
Yeah, you got to get potpourri in. Sorry, my rhyming skills are not as good as Gord's, who has been maligned on the show this week. We will get him on so he can defend himself.
Yeah, by you. No, by no one else other than you.
Ben Karpinski, former friend of Gord Laws. All right. Cheers, everybody. Have a happy weekend.